I used to be an exercise hater until I realized how powerful it actually is. Exercise can transform your energy, stress levels, and cognitive ability. It's one of the best performance enhancing drugs you can ever take. And in this video, I want to break down how you can get these benefits from exercise without dedicating your entire life to the gym. But before we get started, I want to quickly introduce myself. My name is Trevor, and I help entrepreneurs perform at their best without becoming a biohacker, so they have more energy, less stress, and more output in their business. All right, let's dive right in. Why is exercise an amazing performance enhancer? Exercise is one of the best performance enhancers, yet most people overlook it. It can transform your energy levels without fucking up your sleep. When you exercise, you get 3 to 4 hours of natural energy. This is a great tool to use if you have a midday slump or you get a shitty night of sleep. Instead of drinking 4 cups of coffee and potentially fucking up your sleep, you can just exercise and get free energy. Exercise can also lower your stress and make you more resilient to it. It can sharpen your problem solving and decision making. It can help you manage emotions better. It can help you lose weight faster. And the best part is you do not need to become an Olympic athlete spending 3 hours in the gym every single day to get these benefits. All you really need is an hour a day to exercise, and you are going to transform your energy and stress levels. Now, if you don't have an hour a day, we're going to talk about how you can make your workouts more time efficient, so don't worry. And the key here is really exercising consistently with a variety of exercise types. We want to get all the benefits exercise has to offer, so we want to incorporate a lot of different types. And you might be asking yourself, Trevor, why can't I just exercise normally? Why can't I just go out and play a game of soccer or go lift weights or go on a hike with my family? Well, you can, and you can still get these amazing benefits. The only difference between a more structured exercise program and one where you're just doing exercise for enjoyment is the length of the benefits. With a enjoyment exercise, you're going to get all the short-term benefits, 3 to 4 hours of natural energy, enhanced cognitive ability, and less stress. And these benefits happen right after the exercise, in the hours after you exercise. But with a structured exercise program where you're doing it consistently, you are going to permanently upgrade the machinery in your body. You are going to be able to permanently transform your energy levels, permanently lower stress, and permanently enhance your cognitive abilities. That is the power of doing a structured exercise approach. All right, so the first exercise type we have here is endurance cardio. And endurance cardio is simply magical. It's one of the few exercises that actually lowers your stress while you're doing it. So when you do endurance cardio, you are not reaching a point where you're stressing your body out like other types of exercises. You're right below that threshold. So instead of increasing your stress when you do it, you lower your stress. And over time, as you do this, your body actually becomes more stress resilient. So when you have an important meeting or a presentation to give, you are going to feel less stressed out from those stressful events because you've trained yourself to handle the stress under pressure. It also trains your body to produce consistent energy and stop crashing after the meals. You know how you have these massive energy swings throughout the day, and especially around eating, you seem to crash, get brain fog, have low energy. That is because your metabolism is not working right. And what zone 2 cardio does is it repairs our metabolism to give us consistent energy. So instead of crashing after meals and having these energy swings throughout the day, it's going to stabilize our energy more. Of course, other factors like proper stress management and sleep come into play, but this is really one of the root interventions at fixing your inconsistent energy levels. Now, it's also really easy to recover from, which matters when you're living a busy lifestyle. Many of you are busy individuals who can get stressed out easily. It helps a lot to have an exercise form that is easy to recover from. You can do cardio, endurance cardio, and then do it again the next day and the next day and not be too sore, not be too tired from it. That is the beauty. It's actually helping you recover. Unlike these other exercise types like intense cardio, which we'll talk about, and weightlifting, those take multiple days to recover from. And endurance cardio can be any type of cardio you enjoy. It's dictated by the intensity, not the activity. So endurance cardio can be biking, swimming, running, anything you want. All that it matters is that you're keeping the same intensity throughout the entire workout. And the intensity here is dictated by our heart rate. your heart rate should be between 70 and 80% of its max. And you can track this. It's also called zone 2 is typically what it's referred to. You can track this with a Whoop, an Apple Watch, any sort of wearable. And if you don't have a wearable, you can also just do the speaking test. So if you are able to speak, but it's slightly uncomfortable, like you're like, okay, so, and that was cool. And yeah, so then like you're still breathing and talking, then that means you're probably in zone 2. If you're at the point where you're breathing and you can barely get out a word, you're pushing too hard. If you're at the point where you're talking like this and doing exercise, you're probably not pushing hard enough. So that's a great way to see if you're at the right intensity. I want to reiterate that the key here is to keep this intensity through the entire workout. The intensity of zone 2, where you're at 70 to 80% of your max heart rate, or where you are able to speak, but you're still a little bit out of breath. That is how you know you're in the right intensity for the workout. And you can absolutely dip into a higher intensity where you're just completely out of breath and can't speak, and also into a lower intensity where you're talking like this and it's not really hard. But you want to make sure that the majority of the workout is in that zone 2, or else you won't get those benefits. And to get the full benefits, you want to aim for 3 to 4 sessions a week, about 60 to 90 minutes each. Now, you don't have to do 3 to 4 sessions. It doesn't have to be 60 to 90 minutes each. You can do 2 sessions at 30 minutes. Again, the only difference is you're going to get those exercise short-term benefits, the stress reduction, the 3 to 4 hours of natural energy right after the workout. But you're going to miss out on the permanent benefits, permanently upgrading your machinery. And that is why it's so important to hit these milestones. 3 to 4 sessions a week and about 60 to 90 minutes each in that zone 2 state, in that same intensity, and you're going to get these amazing benefits. Now, you might be saying, Trevor, that is a lot of time. And it does sound like a lot of time, but once you understand that you can also do other tasks while you're doing zone 2 cardio, it's not that bad. You can listen to podcasts. You can even call people and talk to them. You can do light work. That is the beauty of zone 2 cardio. You're able to still function and do other things and stack whatever you need to on top of your zone 2 cardio. You can even watch a movie or do whatever you want. And that makes the time commitment a lot easier. And in the beginning, yes, it might feel harder. You might not be able to do other tasks while you're doing it because you're getting your fitness up. But over time, you're going to be able to stack activities. And as busy individuals, that's going to help you a ton. Okay, the next cardio type we have here is intense cardio. And intense cardio is powerful. It's also known as VO2 max training or HIIT training. And it improves your cardiovascular fitness, which lowers your baseline stress levels. When you are more fit, you're going to lower your resting heart rate. And because of that, you're going to spend more time in this relaxed state that our nervous system has. And thus, this is going to reduce your stress levels overall, just like endurance cardio is doing. And intense cardio also triggers compounds in the brain that help you think sharper, and it can even reverse brain aging. So when you do other types of exercise like endurance cardio or weightlifting or just general exercise, you get these acute brain benefits that help you enhance your cognitive ability. But with HIIT cardio, you get them 10 times more. You get them on crack. So if you do have a deep work session or an important meeting, you can structure your HIIT sessions around those important events, and you can get enhanced cognitive ability. Now, this is going to be in the short term, and it's also working in the long term. So that is why HIIT cardio is, again, really powerful. And the last part here is it can reverse brain aging. They did a study where men, the average age of 50, were doing 1 intense cardio session a week along with weight training and also exercising consistently. And what they were able to do over the course of doing this consistently for 2 years is reverse their brain age by 20 years. That means that they had an average brain age of 30 years old at 50 years old. That is pretty freaking crazy. And with intense cardio, you only need to do it once or twice a week, and the sessions are generally 20 to 30 minutes long. That is the goal you want to aim for. So a lot less of a time commitment compared to endurance cardio. And I want to give you an example of how this works with the Norwegian 4x4 protocol. Again, just like endurance cardio, you can choose whatever activity you want. You can run, you can bike, you can even play basketball. What matters here, again, is the intensity. This is where the benefits come from. This is where you permanently upgrade your machinery. And the Norwegian 4x4 protocol works like this, where you're 4 minutes on, and in this 4 minutes, you're going as intense as possible. So you are out of breath. You cannot speak to anybody. On your wearable tracker, it's going to say you're in zone 3, zone 4, or even zone 5. And your heart rate should be at 85% of your maximum heart rate. So you're going really hard for 4 minutes, and then for 3 minutes, you rest. You can completely rest, and then you repeat that cycle 4 times. That is the Norwegian 4x4 protocol. And you do not have to follow this interval. All that really matters is that you have a period where you're going as hard as possible, and you have a period where you rest and you repeat that process. Now, these intervals can be generally 1 to 4 minutes. So if you didn't want to do 4 minutes on and 3 minutes off, what you could also do is 1 minute on and 1 minute off. The work time should generally equal the rest time. I don't know why for the Norwegian 4x4 it doesn't, but generally that's the guideline you want to follow. So if you wanted to do 1 minute intervals, you do 1 minute where you go as hard as you can and then 1 minute off, and you repeat that 10 times. That's going to give you around a 20-minute workout, which is the goal that we want to aim for the duration of intense cardio. Now you might be asking, why can't I just do intense cardio? Why do I have to do endurance cardio? It takes a lot less time and it seems to have all these cool benefits. Well, 2 reasons. Endurance cardio has its own set of unique benefits you want to take advantage of. And the second reason is it takes much longer to recover from intense cardio than endurance cardio. So if you try to do intense cardio 3, 4, 5 times a week, you're going to stress the fuck out of your body. And as somebody who's already busy and already stressed out, that is just going to make your performance and energy much worse. So you want to stick to doing intense cardio once or twice a week and keep to the durations of 20 to 30 minutes. If you go over that, you're going to push yourself too hard and it's going to have negative performance benefits, not positive. So we want to make sure that we don't fall into the trap of because it's time efficient, it makes sense to do. No, that's not always the case. And the final type of exercise is resistance training. This is also known as weightlifting, and resistance training is the Swiss Army knife of exercise. It's not just about building muscle and strength and posting selfies with your shirt off on Instagram and flexing in the mirror. It's more than that. It is a performance enhancer. It boosts your metabolism so you burn more calories at rest. That means you're able to eat more food and indulge if you like to, especially if you like to indulge on the weekends and eat out at restaurants like I do. This is a great opportunity where you don't need to be so worried about your calories and what you're eating because your metabolism is burning so much more. It also enhances your brain function, specifically your focus, emotional regulation, and sharper thinking. And with resistance training, you want to be doing it at least 3 to 4 times a week, focusing on compound movements. The reason you focus on compound movements is because they're time efficient. When you do squat, bench press, rowing, deadlift, you are hitting multiple muscle groups at once. That way, you can do 3 to 4 compound movements and be out of the gym in under an hour. Now, isolation movements, they still have their place, like bicep curls or tricep press, but again, they're going to be less time efficient. And just like the other 2 exercises, intensity matters. You need to keep challenging yourself each week if you want to get these benefits. You need to grow and build muscle. And to do that, you need to raise the intensity. With weightlifting, this can be adding more reps, going slower on the eccentric, adding more weights, doing better form, whatever it takes. That is going to increase the intensity, challenge your body more, force your body to adapt, and upgrade the underlying machinery. And I just want to mention as well, it doesn't have to be weightlifting. You can do calisthenics if you want. All that matters, again, is that you're progressing in the intensity, and then you are going to get these insane benefits. All right, I want to run you guys through a quick example tying everything together. So we have Bob here. Bob has 7 hours to work out a week, and he wants each workout to be less than an hour. If Bob wants to permanently upgrade his machinery, transform his energy levels, reduce his stress, and improve his cognitive ability permanently, he's going to have to hit these KPIs. He needs to do 3 endurance cardio sessions a week, at least 1 intense cardio session a week, and at least 3 weightlifting sessions a week. Now, if you're not Bob and you don't have this time, what you can do is you can take the amount of time you do have to work out and split it up between these different exercise types. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you have 4 hours a week. What we're going to do is we're going to split up this 4 hours between weightlifting and cardio. So 2 hours will be weightlifting and another 2 hours will be cardio. Then we want to split up this cardio even further. So we want 80% of this cardio time to be endurance. And then we want the other 20% to be intense cardio. So you would do an hour and a half roughly of endurance cardio training, and you would do 30 minutes of intense cardio training, and that would be your split. Now for Bob's case, he has extra time. So this is how his routine would look. On Monday, he might hit upper body weightlifting for 1 hour. On Tuesday, he might do an endurance cardio biking session for 1 hour. On Wednesday, he might do lower body weightlifting for 1 hour. Then Thursday, he does endurance cardio where he does running for 1 hour. Then on Friday, he does a full body weightlifting session for 1 hour. Then Saturday, he does an intense cardio for 20 minutes. Then Sunday, he does another endurance cardio session for swimming for 1 hour. And you might be saying, Trevor, this is a lot, and I don't expect you to start here. Please do not start here if you have not worked out or exercised in a while. You need to build your way up. But the beauty of this, like we talked about, these endurance cardio sessions, they're super easy to recover from, and they're actually reducing your stress. So rather than stressing you out more like the weightlifting does and the intense cardio, these are more like rest days. They don't seem like it because you're doing work, but your body will feel it. And I promise you, when you become consistent and when you become a exercise connoisseur and become consistent with it, then you will get those benefits. Now, I want to reframe myself. You don't need to be an exercise connoisseur, but you just need to be consistent with exercising. And I also wanted to remind you that on the endurance cardio days, you can stack other activities. You can do light work. You can call a friend. You can listen to a podcast while you're doing the endurance cardio. So don't think of it like a waste of time. And again, it's also helping you recover from stress. And if you don't want to work out every day and you do want some rest days because you're like, Trevor, I still need some rest days, that's totally fine. What you can do as you improve your cardiovascular fitness is you can actually stack the endurance cardio days on top of the weightlifting days. So you could do a endurance cardio session in the morning, and then you could do a weightlifting session in the evening. That way you don't have to work out every day and you can still get all of these performance benefits. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on my Instagram. And if you do also want some more personalized support, you can also reach out on my Instagram.